Hey guys, welcome to Dius Podcast. I'm Damisi.
I'm Josh.
I'm Big Daddy Benz, you know what's up?
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about a big topic. We're going to be talking about Fortnite versus Apple versus Google, and just get into reasons why what is happening right now is happening.
Cool. Yeah. So our best John to kick off.
Yeah, so I think first of all we should set some premise, for why this is even a thing.
All right.
So I think let's start from how the Play Store was made, right? The Play Store came at the time when it was really, there wasn't one straightforward or users, just put up apps on their phone. So you had other stores that had to go through a bunch of hacks and hooks and all that. The App Store came and gave you that ease. That was one of Steve Jobs' idea for the App Store. Now, also another thing is the App Store came at a time where other stores were giving you things like 80%. They'll take an 80% cut off your sales. They take it as much as 50%. So at the time, 30% seemed like a big sort of relief to developers. They said, "Oh wow, this is way much more I can develop for this platform. I can take that." But now the problem is that most of all the other stores that were at the time when the App Store came out, they've all died. You get so now it has gone to the point where Apple has become a lot more powerful, a lot more positioned. Now that 30% though doesn't longer represent Apple looking out for a developer. It looks like Apple taking like the developers for like a ride. So which I feel like Apple in that essence either acknowledges and has refused, to update it because they're making so much money, or they still want to hinge on to, oh, you know what, we're coming from a place where it's good. Now, don't begin to paint us bad. Now, Fortnite, on the other hand, I felt played Apple at his own game because prior to the ban, in the morning of that event, I saw so many guys in the iOS dev community. They were angry. Oh, why would Apple allow Fortnite to introduce a way where you could pay and not use the direct app store? That is breaking their rules, so many things. And then Epic developers of Fortnite seemed kind of comfortable with all that press that was going on. They kept canceling developers to talk about it. And so I was like, oh, it's only a matter of time before Apple finds it. So if Apple finds it, is either they come out and say, okay, we work with some select people to waive the 30%, or they kick them off. And then as Apple came and kicked off Fortnite of the store, Epic introduced their own Epic recreation of the I think 1988 or 90, I can't remember the year, Apple ads against the Big Brother, IBM or stuff. So now the question is, does any of this make sense? Again, Josh, what do you think?
Okay, so see, here's my thing, right? Of course, I always back Apple, and hang on a minute. Hear me out. See, the thing is, Epic Games, I beg your pardon. Yeah. They're a terrible company. Right, like these guys. Wow. No, when I say terrible, I don't mean terrible in the sense of incompetent. I mean terrible in the sense of bad practice, very aggressive, very exploitative. They tried to kill Steam. Yeah. They tried to kill Steam last year. They started sniping developers to come onto their own store, and they're doing what Apple does in the gaming community, and they're crying about it because, of course, Apple is much bigger, has much more financial muscle. But the fact of the matter is, Apple is fully justified to do this. You have to remember that Apple has spent time at a lot. It was at great financial risk to Apple to back apps and the iPhone the way they did early on. Because remember when apps were taking off, people, of course, we knew it was a brave new world with the touchscreen phones, but no one truly understood the scale to which this would blow up to. No one truly understood. Like, we're talking 10 years ago when apps came, most apps were fart apps. You had, I'm serious, like, you had all these silly apps, Torchlight. Like, no one was really thinking my app is a business. Now you have companies that are apps, right? So Apple put a lot of effort into marketing, into educating their users. Like, the iOS community, and I mean the user base, the iOS user base community is one of the biggest and the best educated user bases when it comes to supporting developers. They buy apps, they go through in-app purchases. You don't get that anywhere else. Like, on any other platform, you get a more pirate-oriented viewpoint where I'm going to try to find this for free.
So, Josh, you're telling me that you feel like all of this warrants Apple taking as much as 30% of people's revenue?
Yeah, hear me out. No, I'm playing devil's advocate for a second, because there's a reason why Fortnite. So Epic Game, they've been having issues with Google and Apple for years now.
Yeah.
Last year, I think in 2018 they took Fortnite off the Play Store, and then they had to bring it back. And you have to remember that it's not only Apple that kicked them off. Google also did the same thing, and they also take 30%. Right, so it's kind of like industry standard, right? 30%, because you're talking marketing. Marketing is expensive. See, Epic Games can sideload their Android apps. You can go directly to the Epic Game website and download the app and use it, but they prefer you go through the Play Store because of the marketing muscle Google has. Like, Google pretty much shoves that game in everyone's face because it's the most popular game on both platforms. So if you're a regular user, you're bored, it's locked down, you open your phone, okay, let me see what games are there. Google says, hey, top game, play this. That's invaluable marketing. Like, you can't even begin to think how much money you would have to pay up front if you had to market your app to that many eyeballs. So 30% is kind of fair when you actually break it down, because 30% assumes that if you make money, we make money. So if you make $1 billion, right, we make 300 million, you take 700, right? So it's kind of fair. But if you only make 1,000, we still show your app to that many people. But it's your fault that your app is crap enough that you only made $1,000.
Okay. Now, interested in that, Damisi, walk with your based on what Josh said. Give me your thoughts on the whole, and then also your thoughts on this. Don't you think that, irrespective of what Josh has said, that Fortnite has gotten to the level where it can still stand on its own in terms of its marketing muscle? Like, it doesn't need Google and then Apple to like market for them to get to where they are. What do you think?
Okay, so let me answer that second one first. Like, so
Yeah.
Fortnite is big, right? There are a lot of games that have reached that level, but then, they're not spending the money on marketing. Google is spending the money on marketing.
Yep.
Apple is spending the money on marketing. So if they go on their own and spend that money on marketing, they'll be making less money than they are making now.
Yep.
That's right.
Why do you say so?
Because
Marketing's expensive.
marketing is expensive, bro.
What the
Because
Fortnite?
think
No,
about it.
dude, hear me out.
If you want
Okay,
to get
go on,
Fortnite,
Damisi.
if you have that thought, you want to get Fortnite, you go onto their website and get it. But if you just want to play a game, you have no idea what Fortnite is.
Thank you. Lots of people don't.
And you just see Fortnite, the top game, this, that, and like, oh, okay. And then you go for it.
You have to remember that, one more thing, guys. You have to remember that marketing is only effective to people who wouldn't have found out about your product anyway. So, Fortnite being big, it's big within the gaming community. And even then, it's a very divisive game. You're going to find two types of gamers who love Fortnite, gamers who hate Fortnite. There's no in between. Like, there's no I'm neutral towards Fortnite. It's either I can't stand that game or I love that game. So they don't need to market within the gaming community because everyone knows what Fortnite is. You either love it or hate it. There are too many memes, there's too much discussion. What they want are new users, because that's how they stay on top. See, that was how they beat PUBG, right? They beat PUBG to being cross-platform, which meant they brought on mobile users, they brought on casuals, they brought on kids, they brought on all sorts of people. PUBG was still chilling, trying to focus on PC gamers, and they got wrecked. Now no one talks about PUBG anymore. See, there was a time when PUBG was the main game. Do you guys remember when PUBG was that big that people were like, oh my god, this is the next big PC game? No one talks about it anymore. See, and that's why Apple and what Apple and Google provide is so invaluable, because the moment Fortnite loses that marketing muscle of Google and Apple combined on both platforms, they lose access to the casual market. And once people stop talking about Fortnite, they stop seeing it, they start talking about the next game, and that's it.
Okay, so Josh, me, you, Damisi, we are all core gamers. We are,
of course,
we're back from school. And so, do you think that a little bit of your beef towards Fortnite is from you coming from your heart that you're a core PC gamer, and then Fortnite is just everything against what a core PC game should be?
Kind of.
A little bit away from 30%.
Yeah, of course. And no, let me explain what I mean by that, though. See, Fortnite is the is the culmination of everything that's wrong with modern gaming. So if you think about it, see, there used to be a time when game developers spent time researching, spent years building a game that was art, right? They crafted it, every level was well thought out, everything was well designed, and when you play it, you feel satisfied.
We can see that because
Right.
of our own past.
I mean, you think about games like Skyrim, for example, right? These are games that they had to spend time, invest resources to build. And then all of a sudden, you get this game that offers you instant gratification. It hopped on the battle royale trend where you just hop into a game, no investment, shoot, killed, run around in unicorn hats and I don't know whatever. I think we lost Reuben. He froze up a bit, but yeah, let me carry on. You hop into this game where it's just a lot of just visual jargon thrown at you. All of a sudden, you're not thinking, you're not investing, and then when you're done, you leave with nothing. There's no sense of achievement. If you lose, because you have to remember that most people lose Fortnite. There's only one winner. So per game, you get in the game. I've actually played Fortnite a bit, and I've played other battle royales. And one thing I've noticed is when you start playing the game, you can have days where you never get past 3 minutes per game.
Somebody just snipes you from far.
Pretty much, like you can have games where you never get past 3 minutes per game. It's insane. So you start you start the game and then you're walking around, bang, you're dead, and that's it. It's just like that. That's just, it's like, oh great, okay, next match. You go to the next match. You sat there in front of your gaming PC. You're ready. Start another game, bang, you're dead, and then you can have like that happen 10 games in a row.
And then you start thinking maybe you're trash or something, or you need to buy something, and then you start buying.
That's the thing. So then you, but the thing is, since it's not pay to win, it's cosmetics. So what they do is they push it to children, and companies like that are very exploitative. That's why I keep saying that Epic Gaming is a horrible company. They exploit children. Most of the Fortnite user base are kids. If kids stop playing Fortnite, that game will not be as popular as it is today. Most of these are they're kids, so kids love shiny things. Do you want your character to look like John Wick? Buy this now. Do you want your character to look like LeBron James? Buy this now. Like they just shove things, and it becomes incoherent. It's not immersive. It's a social game, so you hop on with your mates from school, and then you just play. But in my opinion, proper video games are supposed to be timeless. They're supposed to transcend identity. They're supposed to transcend age. So a grandpa would enjoy Skyrim as much as a 10-year-old would, because it's constrained to a world, it's art, it's well built, you know exactly what it's about. But in Fortnite, okay, I'm John Wick, I jump in, I see a unicorn guy run around, I see another guy who's dressed like a piano, and you're like, what's happening? Do you know what I mean? It's just chaos. And I get it. It's that sort of high dopamine environment that gets kids involved, gets them playing, gets them sort of going and stuff like that.
Something, Josh, when you said something about the company like Epic Games being terrible, I thought you were talking about the developers, like the work life of the developers. Is that what?
No, I mean that too. Like Epic Games is very famous for being a terrible company to work at, a terrible company to work with. They prioritize money over everything else, and they use money aggressively as well. So when you look at how they tried to kill Steam last year, it's the same thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I benefit from their practices, because right now they give free games like every month or something, and I gladly take the free games. But the point is they have they've got a lot of dodgy things going on in the background. They treat people not too well, and they always go after sniping. So they try to snipe indie developers, try to offer them exclusivity deals that eventually hurt the gamers, right? So there have been loads of games, some that have been crowdfunded, others that have just been widely anticipated by gamers who were hoping to get it on Steam, because loads of people have money on their Steam accounts, right, from trading and stuff. So the developer just goes, well, Epic Gaming offered me like $10 million, so I'm going with them for the exclusivity deal. Like that happens, and no one says anything. But of course, last year there was lots of anger about it. Some people were saying, well, it's good because it's competition. Others were saying, well, no, this isn't how things are done. But going back to my main point, which is back to like away from this and back to the issue on ground on Epic Games and Apple and Google, and whether or not it's actually worth 30% what these companies take, right? You can't tell me, because we can't put the fault on Apple. The fault has to be on ad companies, which again goes back to Google, because Google and Facebook, I believe, they're the biggest ad companies. So they charge an obscene amount of money for advertising, an obscene amount of money. Like, advertising has gotten out of control. In fact, because you have to remember that a lot of high-paying jobs will not exist if not for advertising. There'll be no YouTuber who can pay rent if not for advertising. There'll be no Twitch streamers making millions of dollars per month if not for advertising, right? All these things, advertising. Most indie developers won't be able to pay their bills if not for ads they can put in their apps. So advertising has become such a big problem. Whether it's a good or bad thing for us long term, we have no clue, because this is very new to the human experience, like constantly being bombarded about things you want, and companies using sneaky tactics, bypassing your natural sort of inhibitions and things like that to just get you to make impulse purchases. So companies like this want us to be as impulsive as possible. So you see an ad before your YouTube video. Why are they showing you that ad? Okay, they're hoping that your attention span is so short that once you see that ad, you forget the video you wanted to watch. You click on the ad, you go to a different window, you click through their product, you buy something, and then after you buy that, they're going to serve you another ad that's relevant to what you've just bought, and then you click on that and then you buy something else. So these people don't actually care about you watching the video. They want you to buy things. So bringing that back to the topic at hand, advertising is so expensive that you cannot just ignore the fact that Apple gives you, as a developer on their platform, the opportunity for billions of users to see your app for free. Like, if your app went viral, see, we all have apps here, we're all app developers. If your app went viral tomorrow on the App Store, Apple isn't going to charge you a cent for marketing. All they do is, if your app is paid, you give them 30% of whatever you make.
Yep, but then again,
still high, but
but then again, I still get what you're saying, but I still feel like Apple is taking away the choice from the users. For example, I buy $1 billion phone. Oh no, not $1 billion. I buy almost $1,000 phone, right?
Right.
And then I want to be able to put whatever it is I want to put. Do you get? I don't care. It doesn't need to come for you. I'm giving you money for this device. I own this piece of device. So I should be able to put whatever it is within, safe safety net. So don't you argue that Apple having a strong stance on that is actually hurting users in a way where, for example, now if as Fortnite has gone off the store now, you can tell that almost no iOS user who hasn't jailbroken their phone can get access to Fortnite to get. So what do you think that kind of says towards users of on the iOS platform?
Okay, well that's actually a very simple question to answer, right? And the reason why is, look at Apple versus Android for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Right. And one of the things that will jump out to you immediately is confidence in the platform. See, Apple users keep buying Apple phones, keep paying the premium. See, if not for Apple, no phones would cost as much as $1,000.
Fair.
So Apple users, the confidence they have in Apple products, and the fact that they're not going to click on a link or download an app and all of a sudden all their banking data is exposed to some guy in Russia or deep Uzbekistan or something. Like, dude,
why?
I'm serious. I'm asking you. No, because if I click on an app, because Android has had too many of those incidents over the past couple of years where yet another app was drinking all your banking data, and now your life savings is at risk. See, the bank isn't going to care. And you go to your bank, your local bank in whatever country you're in, and you say, it was some app on the Google Play Store. They're like, we don't care, bro. they used your details. I mean, yeah, sorry. It's time to work for another 20 years and save that money back up. Yeah, that's it. So a lot of people have lost money, but that's the thing Apple has, is when the slightest the slightest breach of trust, Apple kills the app, and it has worked for them. Like, there have been apps who've tried all sorts of things, over the past 10 years to bypass Apple's strict laws, and Apple is ruthless every time. And because of that ruthlessness, people can trust them that, look, at the very least, Apple will keep me safe. So even if it means I can't customize my home screen yet, or I can't have fancy widgets, or I can't do this or that, my phone is a vault. The apps I have are quality apps. On Android, there are very few quality apps, because Android has way more apps in terms of volume. Apple has all the quality apps. What you're likely to find is quality apps start on iOS and then realize, okay, we want to grow our user base, then they make an Android app. It's never the other way around. Like, you won't find any self-respecting startup who's building an app that builds Android first. There's a reason for that. So Apple has done so much to build, I think we lost Reuben again, but Apple has done so much to build user confidence. Yeah, that. No, I'm serious, dude. I'm serious. Like, no one builds Android first, dude. I've worked on projects. I've worked on projects. I've worked with companies before, like, building apps, startups, and that side projects, and the same thing. They say the same thing every time.
Building for the Nigerian market.
Yeah, but yes, but again, sure, you're building for the Nigerian market, but how much revenue are you realistically talking? So, because if
oh my God, Black Lives Matter, Joshua.
Dude, no, hey, they matter, but they don't pay. They matter, but they don't pay, dude. Nigerians would sooner pirate the nonsense out of your app before they pay a dime. You're not going to convince you're going to convince some sharp Lagos guy to give you $10, the equivalent of $10 for a calculator app.
It's about 4K right now. It's about 4K.
Dude, he's going to tell you he'll buy a proper calculator instead.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, dude, this is the point I'm making, right? So Apple has built that trust over the years, that users like myself, I can say, okay, fine, I can surrender myself to the ecosystem. I have the technical know-how to use any system I want. I mean, I use Linux when I need to do, like, more advanced things, nitty-gritty things, get into like Bash and everything. We have that skill set. But for my day-to-day computing, my sort of, just forget about the technical stuff and just use the tech. I trust Apple for that.
Most users are.
Most users aren't technical enough to be. Most people can't even block ads.
Yeah.
You have to remember, most people don't know how to block ads.
That's what I was going to say about between the App Store and the Play Store. The App Store, like, anybody can just go there, get an app, and you're sure that it's good. Yeah. But on the Play Store, you
have to research.
I mean, I worry about that. Let's say, for example, I needed a screen recorder recently, and I know that I could do that through my Android studio, but I wanted an app. So I went and I saw different options, and I was like, okay, I need
yeah, exactly.
This guy's not just sending my video directly somewhere.
Okay, so I think my question is Damisi.
Oh yeah, and sorry, one more thing on that, just the final point, sandboxing. Yeah. Google still doesn't have that.
Yeah, but sandboxing, I can argue to a point that sandboxing also limits in terms of type of things you intend to do.
Which is good. Let me tell you why this is good. Let me tell you why this is good. See, you have to stop thinking like a cutting edge type of guy. We're all like, and this was what I was saying earlier, is that we're all super advanced power users. We all deal in cutting edge technology. If there's nothing cutting edge out right now that three of us will know about, in terms of mobile or otherwise, tech, gaming, whatever, that's our world, that's our bread and butter, right? But the average guy on the street doesn't have a clue. So sandboxing protects the average user, which is the bulk of the mobile user base. So you get a guy who doesn't even know how to block ads, who has to call his son to teach him how to send a message. You can't risk not having sandboxing, because it will be too easy to rob that guy blind through the technical route. Too easy. No, I'm serious. Like, these are the kind of guys who actually take 419 emails seriously.
Yeah, seriously, yeah.
Right? These are people that they take phishing. What?
Don't you think giving him the option of being able to sandbox and not sandbox is a good thing?
No.
Why?
No, the more doors you open, the easier it is for people to breach them. That's the thing about doing anything security wise. I'll give you an example. Right? You've got a house, right? In your house, if someone was going to rob your house, what are they going to try to? Are they going to try to break the wall down, or are they going to try to break the door down?
You try to go to the door.
So the more doors you have, the more potential entry points for them. So that's why Apple doesn't give you that option, because the moment that option is there, that means it's a switch. So what I can then do is I can call someone. So say I was a scammer, say I was doing human hacking, and I called the person and I say, hey, I'm going to fix the problem you're having on your phone. Like all those Windows 10 scammers that call you and tell you you've got a problem on your Windows. No, I'm serious, hear me out. So and then he says, what problem with my iPhone? I'm going to make it faster for you. And then I'll tell him, okay, go to settings, go to developer options, turn sandboxing off. Now click on this link, install this app, and then I have his data. Because Apple can't trust the average user. We can't trust the average user. The average user doesn't know what they're doing tech-wise. All they know is, dude, most users only use like 2 or 3 apps on their phone.
Okay.
You have to remember that, like social media browsing. Yeah, social media browsing. No, some people that's literally all they do with their phone. Like, there are people who buy their phone specifically for Instagram. Like, they don't have that many people to call anyway, and most millennials aren't really calling. They would WhatsApp or DM you on Instagram. So if you check their phone usage, it will be Instagram, Twitter, and that's it. Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, and that's all they open on their phone. So that kind of person is a prime target, because then I could just say, to check out this new social media app, and then he clicks on it and it says give permission. So he thinks it's just like when Instagram says allow me access to your camera. So he just clicks yes, and then I just drink all his data, take all his banking information, all credit cards, all of that, and then I can do what I want with it.
What do you think about a more like gradual? So the more money your app makes,
right?
Yes.
The more higher the percentage.
Yeah, that's about it.
So,
But before that,
indie developer, as a young guy, small money you're making. Let's say Apple just takes 5% or 10%.
Yeah, then it grows with your sales. But Damisi, before that, I just want to summarize that and Joshua. So Joshua, you're saying that you are fine with Apple restricting the ability of the technical small to satisfy or to keep the large non-technicals safe.
Yes, and do you know why? Because the technical small, the technical minority can jailbreak their phones with no problem. Your phone can't break, my phone can't break, because we know what we're doing. So if I were to jailbreak my phone, I make my backups, I image my disk, I do everything. So I can jailbreak. If anything goes wrong, I just 5 minutes revert, and I'm good as rain. The average guy can't do that. The average guy is going to mess up his phone. So Apple restricting us like that is fine, because we know how to get around it.
Okay, so now let's come back to Damisi's question. Damisi, I think to say that, because I was talking to somebody, to a VC or a partner in a VC firm recently, and then he's trying to launch something by himself. And then one of the biggest things he's had towards all of this is that he's trying to launch for the iOS market, right? But his biggest annoyance has been the 30%. Do you get? Has been, why do I have to? I'm relatively new, right? Do you get? Why am I going to give Apple? It feels like that's too much power. And I see his point. I see what he says. Maybe because people like us, that we have apps, me, you guys, we've passed that pain point. Yeah, we're angry and we're tired, right? So now, Josh, Damisi, don't you, like, based on that, I feel it would be really good if Apple did like a graduated system of payment, right? You come in, because to an indie guy that just launched an app, if I maybe in a week I get, let's say, because for example, like my app now lights on, let's say in a week average sales I get about maybe 100 USD, right? Sometimes way, sometimes more, sometimes less. Now let's say someone makes 100 USD in a month. Now if I'm already happy, but then 100 USD is about 30 has to go to Apple. Don't you feel like that 100, or at least if it was 90, it would be pretty good to someone who is starting out if you're making 100 USD in a month?
Okay, so my rebuttal to that is this: if we're asking Apple to reduce the profit they take, would it also be morally fair to accept that they reduce the services they provide if you're too small? So what I mean by that is, Apple will charge you 1% to sell on the App Store instead of 30, but they won't market your app. Like, they won't, if your app goes viral on its own, good luck. But you forget recommended apps for the week, forget editors picks, forget top apps in your zone, forget all of that. So if Apple removes their Maximus law and say, okay, fine, we're not taking your 30%, your money is all yours, right? They remove their Maximus law, and then they also remove their hand from your pocket. Yeah. How many apps will be worse off?
But think about it. When you are still small, you're not making that much money. But then if they market your app, as you get bigger, you make more money. So that's good.
No, but that's the thing. See, it's chicken and egg. Because most people on the App Store, most apps on the App Store, they market through the App Store. In that, the App Store is your point of availability. So you can just tell your friends, hey, check out my app on the App Store. Hey, check out my app on the App Store. You're not paying server costs. You're not paying anything else. You're not paying hosting. In some cases, they don't even need a website because your App Store page is your website, in a sense. So you just take your QR code, you give them. You take your shortened URL, you give them. They go straight to the App Store. They install it, right? So you have to remember the services Apple is providing, and if we're going to ask them not to charge, because when you look at something like Firebase, for example, Firebase uses a varying there is a variable rate as well to charge you. So if you're small, it's free, but the thing is, when you're small, you don't get all the juicy features.
Okay, but the argument also for that is that Apple doesn't. There are some apps, right, that are on the store, right, and then Apple doesn't feature them and stuff. They can stay months. Apple doesn't even know about them, and those guys are still struggling for sales. What do you say about that? What would you say about that? And then also compared to that, I think Damisi can answer this part for me. Compared to that, how has Play Store been able to do that and still do it effectively? Joshua, don't talk about data. Don't talk about data tips, please.
Hey, you know what it is. You know what it is.
What about scenarios like that?
Look, the thing is, what I'm saying is simple, right? It's because I think we're being too entitled here. We're being too entitled. You have to remember that nothing changes in tech. I just think power shifts. So back then, the providers had all the power because no one could compete. Server costs were too insane. The regulation and barriers to entry for new players were too high. So it was too capital intensive to compete with guys back then. So if you wanted to host your app, you had to pay almost all of your profits because in their opinion, they were doing all the work. Right, without them, you would have nothing. So they made you remember that when they took 90% of your paycheck every month, right? They'll tell you, that we own you, and you best never forget, right? But then Apple came and said, hey, let's make it fair. Developers are actually important. You're helping us make our phone more useful, and we'll also help you by making you richer. Right, so they gave us the 30%. Now the point is, no matter what that number is, people are too greedy and too entitled. People want 0%. It's why free apps are so much more popular than paid apps. It's why people keep falling into pay to win traps and in-app purchase traps, because we are addicted to free. You find someone buy an app that eventually ends up paying thousands of dollars in-app purchases for, who would never consider buying a £3 game instead. It's do you see what I mean? So it's that entitlement, upfront entitlement. So it's because if Apple came out tomorrow and said, okay, we've heard what the community is saying, we've heard what Epic Game is saying, and we've talked internally, we're reducing our risk to 10%, people are still going to have a problem with that. There's going to be some founder somewhere, some greedy guy who's going to go, no, 10% of 1 million, that's still too much, man. I could do so much with that money. Do you see what I'm saying? Right? Yeah. People won't be satisfied until Apple goes, right, okay, we're going to take the L and lose money and just make it free for everyone. Yeah. And then people are going to be like, yes, that's a step in the right direction. Clowns. And when Apple now goes under because they can't sustain it, they will now start wondering, oh no, what happened? I wish Apple was still here. It's the same thing over and over again, right? You see people do this to their favorite public personalities, right? They don't support their work, they steal their work, and then they wonder why the person has to sell out. Do you know, it's the person will say, oh, I used to like this content creator, he used to be decent, he used to make good content, but now all he does is adverts. I'm like, when he started, were you liking his videos? Did you subscribe? Did you share his links with your friends? Nope. He just got there. My free entertainment for the evening, thanks bro. And once it's done, just closes his tab and goes off. And then when the content creator who's putting blood, sweat and tears into his work now realizes he can't pay rent, he's got to start selling out, start shilling all these Chinese games and and saying, hey guys, download this mobile game, it's the best game ever, even though he knows it's not. Right? When he has to do that, the same guy is going to come back to his comment section and go, oh my god, I remember when this YouTuber used to be so good, now he's just rubbish. But that's the thing. So Apple can't win. It's a lose-lose situation for Apple. So the best thing Apple can do is watch out for Apple, and that is keep that 30%, because that 30% is there for a reason. Apple has to see, the more profitable Apple is, the richer Apple becomes, the better it is for us Apple developers. That's an objective fact. See, Apple becoming $1 trillion company means more developers are becoming millionaires.
True. To be fair, yeah.
That's the way it works.
Yeah, no, that is true.
Yeah. So the thing is, because
Damisi.
okay, yeah, go on. Sorry.
No, okay. No, finish.
Oh yeah. So I want to finish on this point, because you have to remember that if Apple stops, if Apple removes their muscle and say, okay, we're not charging as much. So because once Apple, and you have to remember that once the platform, which Apple is, stops trying to push your content because they're no longer making money by you making money, right? They have no incentive to build mechanisms within the platform to make your content go viral. So they can dumb down the algorithm and go, okay, fine, we'll just leave it as whoever has the most downloads wins, which means you can no longer, as an indie developer, compete with a big company. That's it. Like from that day on, indie development on mobile dies, because you're not getting any help. You can't. How are you going to fight the guys who have 200 million in investment from your college room? How's that going to happen? Nope. No, they're going to snuff you out. By the time you're trying to gain the traction in this attention deficient society, they would have found your app, copied all your features. They won't even offer you anymore. Like, people don't buy apps anymore. They'll just copy everything you've done, put in their own app, and you can take them to court with your allowance money. It's like, that's to see you're done. So it's like, this is something we have to remember, that Apple is doing this for the little guy at the end of the day. And it was one thing personally, as a content creator myself, new content creator, I was comparing Twitch and YouTube, and I think this is a topic we'll deal with later on. And I was angry at the lack of discoverability on Twitch, because on Twitch, for example, Twitch makes money regardless of whether or not people come to people sub to you or chill in your chat or whatever. So they just charge for the ads. They're going to show everyone who comes on your page an ad.
Yeah.
So what that means is they make their money regardless of whether or not people stay in your
whether you're growing or not.
Exactly. YouTube,
your money is not dependent on your growth.
Pretty much. YouTube is the other way around. The more you grow, the more people you bring on to YouTube, the more people you keep on YouTube watching your content, the more money they make in ads.
You make money, and then you make.
Exactly. So
you and they make money.
They've optimized their algorithms such that they can push your content because they want to make money. So it's like they're working for you, because the more money you make, the more money they make. So that's how the platforms work. So Google Play is the same thing. App Store is the same thing. The more money you make, the more money they make. If you make $10 billion in a year off of the Play Store, that's more money for Apple. If you make 1,000 in a year on the App Store, that's less money for them. So it's in their interest for them to sell as many units of your app as possible. So complaining about the 30% is ridiculous, because you're looking at Apple's marketing machine at work for you. You take that away, how much would that cost you if there was a company that could get your app in front of as many people as Apple can? How much would they charge you? How much do you think an advertising company would charge you to show your ad or your app to 1 billion users?
I mean,
just say billion.
1 billion users, yeah.
Okay. Now let me hint you that that's a fair. To be fair, that's a fair point. That's a very strong point. But now I want to ask, and I think this should be Damisi, because Damisi is
Damisi, go on.
Chief Android guy, because I don't know why he does that, but a chief Android guy. So that in contrast to what Josh has said now, how is the Play Store doing it that they're still even though they're not making as much money, but they are still successful in, let's forget the data theft that Joshua wants to go on about. You get, now, how are these guys still being able to still have a store that is not, even though it's not the best, it's still all right in terms of his own, and still brings discoverability to apps that matter more without any sort of out of the top advertising.
Man, dude, App Store and Play Store, they both take 30% off the bat. Like that, nothing you can do about that.
Exactly.
But I don't think Google is focused on.
One is not compulsory. One is not compulsory.
When it's not compulsory.
Yeah. I mean, you could bypass Google's.
But that's not true, though. Yeah, so like Google is definitely not like banking on the Play Store. Google has their own business. Play Store is just a another business that they have. It's just like this is it's just there.
Yep.
Yeah, they have their own business that they are focused on. It's just there. So like, yeah. So like they're making their money from somewhere else. So you don't even bring the Play Store into
So you feel that one of the reasons why Google is not hammering down as much as Apple is happening now because they're not focused. Have much more money, right? They're not focused on it. Okay.
They're not focused.
Okay, so guys, let me ask the question. Now, based on the Fortnite Epic game, and also we know that also another thing I feel like this will not help is that currently Apple has serious antitrust issues, in Europe, right? Don't you think this Fortnite thingy is playing out? Yeah. Currently have antitrust issues in antitrust. I say antitrust.
Hey, it's one and the same. If we're being honest.
So now the question is: don't you think this would aid people who are going against the fight of Apple using a monopoly to crush the market? What is currently going on with Epic market? And then now, or don't you also what if I ask, what would you feel would be the best resolution in terms of whether Apple wins, the user wins, Epic wins, or one person wins that is not the user? What do you guys feel will be the best way to end this?
Personally, I think keep the status quo. If it's not broken, don't fix it. See, Epic Gaming got greedy.
That is not even you. That is not even you. You don't even keep the status quo. So why are you saying that? You don't think that. So why are you saying that?
No, I'm serious, right? Think about it.
Yeah, but you as the person do not keep the status quo.
What do you mean? How do you mean? I don't keep the status quo?
I'm seriously waiting for the answer.
Yeah, what do you mean I don't keep the status quo?
Because you don't keep status quo in terms of if because this is how it's being done doesn't mean this is how it needs to keep being done. If it can be improved on, you get to improve on.
Okay, I get what you mean, right?
Why then are you saying like this? So why are you saying?
Because I think the reason I'm saying this is unless something happens, and it's interesting to keep an eye on Google, and if Google tries social media again, and they use their heads this time, I don't know who's doing the innovation thinking at Google, but those people seem to be living on different planets. But anyway, if they did social media again and actually got it right, they can own the social media ecosystem because they have YouTube, which is the most popular, most successful social media platform of all time, and if they have like a Facebook or Instagram equivalent or competitor, that's it. You're done. Because then all you just have is one giant platform. It's similar to how the Chinese companies do it, right? Where they have just one social media platform and everyone does everything on that. So you use that for your payments, use that for your videos, use that for your life updates, use that for your photos. So they own everything. They own all your data. They own your identity. And when they finally build AIs that are perfectly capable of mirroring and copying a human being, they would copy you.
Let's not do that.
But no, just hey, listen to me. Hear me out. I'm just saying, and you have to remember that you have to remember something, and this is something that we as a society now. Let's talk for real. We failed last time we were asked this question, and we can't fail again. When a company offers you something free or too cheap to be true, you've got to say no, because you're paying a steeper price that they don't want you to know about. Google baited all of us. Now they own us. We can't do anything without using google.com. You can't do anything without using YouTube. So they own those two things. They have the keys to the internet.
Yeah.
If Google chooses to if Google chooses to derank your site, that's it. You're never getting found unless people know your exact URL. And this is something that should bother people, because if a company comes up tomorrow, say for example, Microsoft is watching Google and Apple go through this and they say, okay, do you know what? Come develop for Microsoft for 5%. And then all developers go, yes, let's go learn Visual Basic or whatever you need to learn for Microsoft Dev, and they run over like little chickens. They're not going to stop and ask, what is Microsoft getting out of this? Because some smart people will write books and say, oh yes, they'll write Medium articles and say, of course, obviously Microsoft's just doing this for market share. No, once they get all that data back, Microsoft has proven themselves actually worse than Google and Facebook when it comes to user data. So the only difference is they don't have the competence or the facilities to use that to any effect. Like Bing is rubbish, Windows 10 is rubbish. So they're stealing your data, and they're stealing your data in a very blatant way, but they don't have enough data to steal. People aren't coming to them with their data. People rather go to Google rather than Bing. No one uses Bing. People rather use Gmail, not Hotmail. So it's like they have nothing to steal. But if they can get their foot in the door, they're actually a lot worse. So and you have to remember that these companies, they often have deals with the governments that they never ask you as a user about. So these are things that we all have to think about. So personally, I think with this situation, there's no way to keep Epic Game happy, because Epic Games did a bad thing and they have to be punished for it. They knew the rules. It's like signing a contract. It's like all these footballers, right? They sign a contract. You're being paid 300 grand a week. Instead of you to be thanking God every morning, doing like a 7-hour worship and Thanksgiving session that you get to kick a ball around for millions of pounds a year, you're sitting on corner crying, saying, if you don't pay me 400 grand instead, I'm not playing. Imagine this. Like it's insane stuff. And you don't underestimate people's ability to become very entitled very quickly, because people forget just how much Apple has improved the world. Think of a world without apps. Oh my god, dude. Like, do you remember how much of a struggle the BlackBerry days were, the Nokia days were, where nothing was possible on cell phones? Dude, if Apple didn't take the risk with apps, what developers would we be right now? We'll be Microsoft developers in some company somewhere making desktop software.
Or Java.
We would all be Java developers. We would all be Java monkeys.
Yeah, with J20, yeah.
That's it. We would all be Java monkeys, because there'll be no options.
Remember how hectic it was to build back in school for Blackberries?
Yep.
And then Nokia. That was the hell. Okay, so Damisi, I think we if I think we're coming to the end, right, guys?
Yep.
That's right. Yeah. So I think I just want to just ask for everybody's, just closing remark. I think Josh has already given us closing remark. For Damisi, you give it. But I feel like to balance this, I feel like Apple needs to get everybody back to the table, and then one or two things. Either reiterate that, okay, yo guys, this is one of the reasons why we are having this stance, Josh, or they come and say, okay guys, based on all these things we say we offer, based on what Josh has said, what do you think would be a fair price? And then if both parties can agree on a fair price, cool. Or thirdly, Apple would risk one, further alienating devs, because I know that doesn't want to come, right? You risk further alienating devs.
No, you can't get away with this. Come on.
Wait, George. And then I think for that, I forgot what I was going to say now, but I think I'll come back to. That's what I feel could be a good resolution, because if not, we keep having these issues in the press, and then it's only going to be a matter of time before one court will just hungry and just throws the hammer down up and boom, that's it. You get it. So Damisi, give me your thoughts, give me your sign out thoughts.
Apple is bigger than government, just so you guys know.
Oh my god, Josh, calm the fuck down.
It feels like
just so you know.
Just
so you know. Hey, no, because you know, before Damsi answers, because I have to say this, I can't let you guys get away with this. Look, listen to me. Power doesn't need to negotiate. It will actually be worse for Apple to call Epic Gaming to the table, because Apple has to treat them just like every other peasant on the App Store and go, nope, you're just like everyone else. If some random guy in India tried to do this, we're kicking him off the App Store. If some random guy in America tried to do this, we're kicking up the App Store. Just because you're Fortnite doesn't change anything. You're gone. That's how Apple keeps the upper ground. The moment they call them to the table and say, what's a fair price in your opinion? Fortnite is going to go, they've shown weakness, we're asking for 0%. Yeah. Before you know it, some clever lawyer on the Fortnite side is going to say, actually, you guys should be paying us. You guys should be sponsoring us to be on the Apple platform, because we bring users to the iPhone who would have. No, that's how it goes. That's how the craziness starts. So you can't give up power. And of course, when it comes to the courts, dude, Apple has too much money. How much are the courts going to? Oh no, the Apple dodged tax. Let's fine them 300 million. Oh no, I'm sure Tim Cook is going to be worrying about where his food is going to come from now.
Yeah, but guys, let me just say this.
Carry on. I'm done. You guys can finish off. I'm done.
Moving forward, we should tap Josh's phone, because I feel like he has calls with Tim Cook and then Phil still almost every day, because I don't understand where like this is coming from. So I think we should tap Josh's phone. Do you get? I need to understand what is going on, Josh. Josh, how much are you being paid that we don't know about?
I can't disclose that.
The full Apple team is behind that camera, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I can't disclose that.
They have scripts.
You will come out.
I can't disclose that.
Yeah, but so I think okay. That's
like you said that they're alienating. Like they can't, bro. They're big. They're too big for that. If where do you want to put your app?
Yep.
Where do you want to put your app? If you want your app on iPhones, you have no choice. If you want your app on Android, you can do whatever. But like
1 billion users.
Yeah, man. So I think Apple should not do anything. Like the right thing for Apple.
I think as a
just zip up about it.
Yeah.
Don't change anything. Just keep it at 30% and keep right.
I'm not going to lie. As somebody who sells on the App Store, I will tell you categorically that I intentionally don't build for Android, because I know Android does not sell. But
what did I say? What did I say? What did I say? What did I just say?
Also,
Android doesn't sell. Period. Like, building an Android app is a meme. It's a meme.
No. Yeah, I have about two, and I stopped because I have like 2 Android apps right now. And then I remember one has to be updated. I have some bugs, so I asked one of the guys, and people keep sending me emails. And I replied, I said, so I mean, these fixes will take a while. If I was going to make this and make it a paid app, how much would you be willing to pay? And then the reply, random guy said, why would I pay when I can get free? I was like, you know what? So that app hasn't been updated because of that. So yeah, but users. And then, like I said, I asked him, so what's up? How much would you be willing to pay if I make some of these fixes? He said, oh no, I was like, okay, you know what? Adios, man, chill. Why would I do that? And then, but I still feel like users should get a choice. I make money off the App Store, good money, but still wouldn't mind, users have a little bit of option,
Even if it meant you made less money. It's a simple question. It's quite literally a yes or no question. If it meant you made less money, if users get more choice in that, so because you have to remember that the moment Apple gives them choice, your app will be pirated and you'd immediately lose a lot of paying users. Because why would I buy your app when I can just sideload it from Damisi's phone?
Good point.
Just send that.
Yeah. I'll just sideload your app.
I think for that I would have, but I also feel like I think one of the reasons why Apple has like the best developer ROI, return on investment, I mean, for what is what you
and marketing.
Money spent on buying a mark, investing in creating a good app, you can get really good investment based on if you build for like another store. So I think maybe something that could end up, spoiling this would be if Google decides to wake up and sit with the Play Store, to make the Play Store a very good. Don't shake your head, Josh.
Google doesn't care about that, guys. You keep forgetting what Google's business is. Google doesn't care about apps. They don't care about developers. What they care about is your data. They have their money is coming entirely from data. That's it. Adverts and data. They care about nothing else. The Google Play Store is always going to be a rubbish dumpster for like till Google ends. That'll always be the case because they own all our data. They own the keys to the internet. They don't care about apps. Why would they care about apps? Dude, most people at Google use iPhones and Macs.
Yeah.
It's the funniest thing in the world. It's like,
Josh's stance on Google, maybe further down this growth of this podcast, maybe no. Some guys on Google be like, oh yeah, we love a podcast. We want to see if we can invest in it. And then they go and just comment on Google, and they're like, no way,
Hey.
no way. Because I'm like, oh my god, yeah, I'm like, oh my god. But yeah.
Like,
So, does anybody have anything else like kind of there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like from what Josh said, like the statement has been there for a while. Like if you're not paying for it, then you are the product. As
Simple.
When it comes
And you're far more expensive.
yeah,
True.
But we don't value ourselves, right?
No, not only that. You have to remember that people are being intentionally miseducated about how expensive their data is. The average guy doesn't understand, because the one thing that annoys me the most, because I'm I'm a privacy fanatic, right?
Yeah.
And dude, one thing that annoys me the most about people who say they don't care about privacy is they always tell you what you have to hide. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. Here's what we'll do, right? I'm going to come to your house tomorrow with my camera, and I'm going to record you do everything from the moment you wake up, you go into the shower, you're going to have no private time. I'm going to follow you everywhere since you have nothing to hide. Are you okay with that? And of course they start getting creeped out. I'm like, how are you not creeped out right now? That's what Google is doing to you right now. How is that not bothering you right now? They're doing it. This isn't some Black Mirror episode of what's going to happen in 10 years time, 50 years. They're doing it right now. Google has your GPS data. They know where you've been, where you're going, what you're doing, who you're doing it with. Like there are times I go on the train. Like I go on Google Maps. Okay, I need to get to a place in London. I check. Okay, right. What's the quickest route on the tube? And then I get on the tube. I get off at a stop, and of course, the AI, the algorithms, they check my distance from when I started to my distance now. Okay, they figured out based on the time it took me to get there, I did take the train. Guess the next question they asked me: how crowded was your train? Answer for us. So they're already stalking you right now. Sure, right now they're helping you. They're giving you services. What happens in a world where it becomes too much of a global village for governments to functionally exist? Corporations become the government. And this isn't even dystopian. It makes sense, because right now Twitter already has that kind of power, right? So Twitter can ban a president, and by doing so guarantee that his opponent wins the election, because he can't talk on Twitter, so his opponent is going to landslide it. Facebook can do the same thing and say, oh, you want to advertise for a presidential run, denied. and then they boost his opponent's ads everywhere. They've chosen the president.
Yeah. So they get to influence.
Can do that.
So, these companies have already become more powerful than governments. And I was joking with someone the other day. I can't remember if it was you, Damisi, and I was talking about how easy it would be if Google wanted to get into the assassination business. Hear me out, Reuben. I think this is a funny way to end the podcast today, but check this out. Now, because Google has such accurate GPS data, right? They know where you're at every point in time, and also because of that, they also know where other devices are and can extrapolate that and know who's in proximity to you. So imagine you sued Google for XYZ, and you're going down to the shop to buy some bread for breakfast. Now Google checks your phone, they ping your phone, they know where you are, and they also know that a guy who's driving down also has his Google Maps on, so they know he's in proximity to you, and you're likely, based on your rate of travel and his rate of travel, you're likely to cross the same street. Now, while he's getting driving directions, turn left at this street, turn right at this street. At the street where he's supposed to turn left and miss you, they tend to turn right. So he's not paying attention, turn right, it turns right and just clears you. The police comes to investigate. Oh, it's just a sad accident. Maybe this guy shouldn't have been paying too much attention to his phone. Some guy in Silicon Valley is like, kill secured, boys.
This is so solid, bro.
That's my point.
For Black Mirror.
That's my point. It's like people don't realize just how easy that is. And do you know what's even scarier? Is Google doesn't have to know that happened. All just needs to be is just one manager, one engineer at Google has a vendetta and says, oh, that girl didn't like me, or she ignored my messages. I know where she's going to be tonight. I know what car is going to be coming around her way. Put two and two together, she's not waking up tomorrow morning. That's a problem. And people don't understand that's a problem until it becomes a big problem. And also, don't forget that the worse this gets, the more impossible it's going to be for the rest of us who are privacy conscious to stay privacy conscious.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what happens when they have all the data of everyone in my family except me? They can extrapolate my data from their data.
From them, yeah.
That's it. So it's going to become impossible to hide. So when they eventually replace governments, because they're getting to that point of power and just financial resources, like Amazon, for example. Amazon is a better delivery company, a better logistics company than the US Postal Service.
Yeah.
What? That shouldn't be possible. How did the US government let that happen?
Yeah, like the government has your social security, they have your data, you have your ID card, they have all that.
And so does Amazon.
Yeah. But I would trust if you ask who should deliver me something fastest and in the safest condition, if you Amazon. Because you know that Amazon can deliver it in the best time you want, at the time you want, and in the best condition. So yeah.
And do you know the worst part about this? You can't vote them out.
No.
I can't look forward to voting out Jeff Bezos in 4 years.
Yeah.
He's there for life, bro. And he's only going to keep getting richer. He's only going to keep getting richer. Like Amazon is going nowhere. They have a complete monopoly. Who's Amazon's competitor on anything? Like there's no business Amazon is in that they have a competitor in.
Jumia.
You need to stop. You need to stop with these jokes. You need to stop with these jokes, dude. I mean, as much as I respect what the guys over there are doing, right? The day Amazon comes to Africa is the day that company is done, man.
Done.
They're just done. It's not like it's just not going to be fair. Like it's. They need to milk it now before Amazon takes Africa seriously. Because once Amazon takes Africa seriously, they're done. That's it. You can't compete with their logistics, dude. I buy things from like one end of the world and it delivers tomorrow. They'll put a box this small on a plane just to get it to me tomorrow. That's how effective. Like it actually costs them nothing. Like they've got to a point now where doing those kinds of like cross continent journeys barely costs them anything.
Yeah. I mean,
it's insane.
I don't want that thing.
I was about to diss Jumia, but like,
no. All disses of Jumia are welcome, you know. But I'm like, this is something that we could get into like another episode of Shea. So let's just wrap this up now.
Yeah. So it's been fun. It's been fun for sure.
It might be who knows? It might be Amazon versus Jumia. Do you get? I'm on the Amazon trade.
Hey.
No. I'm on Amazon trade.
I'll argue for Jumia. I'll have Jumia's back.
Good. I have almost everything on my table right now. Just came through Amazon. Even my chair.
Can I see that?
So, anyways, so guys, thank you guys for joining us on this episode of Dius Podcast.
Oh yeah, I have to say this.
I'm Big Daddy Ben.
I'm Josh, but don't forget to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and destroy that bell so you get those notifications when we go live. Boom.
share.
Damisi has not done his sign up, so I'll do sign up. Damisi Warrior Cares. Peace.
All right, guys. Cheers.